Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Salutations to Ramana, who shines as the heart in every being. We begin today's Saturday Satsang with prayer by Srimati Sapna Ganesh. This will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam by Nandakumarji.
दक्षिणामूर्तिसारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमां रमणाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय. Namo Ramana to everyone.
Ekam Aksharam Nirantaram Bhasati Swayam Likyate Hridaya Kuharamadhye Kevalam Yaham Atmarupe Divisha Manasa Swan Chuvata Majjata Anachalanirodha Atmanishto Deham Jadamakam Aham Buddhirnatasyastito Naham Tattadabhavashukti Samaya Siddha Masadha Oham Bhavayuta Muto Varadhiya Drashta Manishta Soham Sputitaya Aruna Shiva Swayam Soham Spurtitaya Arunachala Shivaha Purvam Vibhav Swayam Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We continue the satsang with the chanting of a few verses from Upadesa Saram. This will be done by Uma and Ashwini.
इदमहं पदाभिक्यमन्वहम् अहमिलीनके प्यनयसत्तया विग्रहेन्द्रिया प्राणधीतमा नाहमेकसत्तज्जडं यसत् सत्त्वभासिका चित्त्ववेतरा सत्तया हि चेत् चित्तया ह्यहम् ईशजीवयोर्वेषधीविदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् वेषहानता स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपत आत्मसंस्थिति स्वात्मदर्शनम् आत्मनिर्द्वयादात्मनिष्ठता ज्ञानवर्जिता अज्ञानहीन चेत् ज्ञानमस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपम् इत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवा पूर्णचित्सुखम् बन्धमुक्त्यतीतं परं सुखम् विन्दति ह जीवस्तु दैविका अहमपेतकं निजविभानकं महदिदं तपो रमणवागियम्. नमो नमः.
Namo Ramana. In this part of the satsang, we have Ramananjali Sangeetam offering. This will be done by Srimati V. Radha, followed by an offering by Pratibha Sundaresh, and also followed by a presentation by Savitri Krishnan and Jaisriram Krishnan and Revathi. Ramananjali Sangeetam offerings.
Namo Ramana to all. Today we will be presenting the Namavali composed by Srimati Mahalakshmi Suryananda, who is popularly called as Maggie Mami in Tiruvannamai. Jnana Guru, Mona Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam, Shanta Guru, Satya Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Jnana Guru, Mona Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam, Shanta Guru, Satya Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Jyoti Guru, Shiva Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Jaya Guru, Jagat Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Jyoti Guru, Shiva Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Jaya Guru, Jagat Guru, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Parama Guru, Paripurnananda Guru, Rakshamam. Paramatma Guru, Brahmananda Guru, Rakshamam. Parama Guru, Paripurnananda Guru, Rakshamam. Paramatma Guru, Brahmananda Guru, Rakshamam. Sadguru, Satchidananda Guru, Rakshamam. Chinmaya Guru, Sadashiva, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Sadguru, Satchidananda Guru, Rakshamam. Chinmaya Guru, Sadashiva, Ramana Guru, Rakshamam. Arujyoti, Atma Jyoti, Ramana Jyoti, Rakshamam. பரஞ்சோதி அருணை ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் அருட்ஜோதி ஆத்ம ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் பரஞ்சோதி அருண ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் ஸ்வயம் ஜோதி சிவ ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் சத்ய ஜோதி சர்வ ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் ஸ்வயம் ஜோதி சிவ ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் சத்ய ஜோதி சர்வ ஜோதி ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம் 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 ரமண ஜோதி ரக்ஷமாம். நமோ ரமண.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Last week we celebrated Mahapuja of Mother Alagammal, and on this occasion, and we sang songs on Matrubhuteshwara. On this occasion, it's nice to remember and pay our salutations to Sundaramaiyer, father of Bhagavan Ramana. Through this composition by Sri K.V. Subramaniam, he's fondly called as KVS Mama, who resides at ashram even today there. In this song, he says, our thousands of prostrations to Sundaramaiyer, born of high lineage and consort of Sundarambal Alagammal. You gave us a true king, Shiva's son, Skanda, that Ganapati Muni has sung praises of him in his songs. As long as creation exists, all the worlds will bow down to you, O best among men, a generous donor born in the great Parashara clan. Is there anyone just and praiseworthy as you are, who has given us Bhagwan Ramana, and to whom even the robbers would bow down at your feet? சுந்தர ஆரியனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம். சுந்தர ஆரியனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம். சுந்தர ஆரியனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே. தந்தனை எமக்கு மெய்யான வேந்தனை ஸ்கந்தனே இவன் என முனி பாடிய சிவமைந்தனே. தந்தனை எமக்கு மெய்யான வேந்தனை ஸ்கந்தனே இவன் என முனி பாடிய சிவமைந்தனே. தந்தனை எமக்கு மெய்யான வேந்தனே ஸ்கந்தனே இவன் என முனி பாடிய சிவமைந்தனே. தந்தனை எமக்கு மெய்யான வேந்தனே ஸ்கந்தனே இவன் என முனி பாடிய சிவமைந்தனே. சுந்தர ஆரியனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம். சுந்தர ஆரியனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே. பராசர குல தோன்றலே வள்ளலே சராச்சரம் எல்லாம் சரண் புகும். பராசர குல தோன்றலே வள்ளலே சராச்சரம் எல்லாம் சரண் புகும் பராத்பரன் தந்தையே புருஷோத்தமனே பராத்பரன் தந்தையே புருஷோத்தமனே பாருள்ள வரையில் உன்னை மறந்திட போமோ பராத்பரன் தந்தையே புருஷோத்தமனே பாருள்ள வரையில் உன்னை மறந்திட போமோ சுந்தர ஆர்யனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம் சுந்தர ஆர்யனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே கள்வரே கண்டு கும்பிட்ட தன்யனே அண்ணலின் அத்தனே கம்பீர வியக்தியே கள்வரே கண்டு கும்பிட்ட தன்யனே அண்ணலின் அத்தனே கம்பீர வியக்தியே திரிசூலபுரம் போற்றிய நீதி திலக்கமே திரிபுவனம் எங்கும் உன்னை போல் தன்யருண்டோ திரிசூலபுரம் போற்றிய நீதி திலக்கமே திரிபுவனம் எங்கும் உன்னை போல் தன்யருண்டோ சுந்தர ஆர்யனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம் சுந்தர ஆர்யனே சுந்தராம்பாள் துணைவனே தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் ஆயிரம் தந்தனம் வந்தனம் ஆயிரம் 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 நமோ ரமண.
தேனும் பாலும் தித்திக்கும் தேவாமுதம் கயக்கும் தேனும் பாலும் தித்திக்கும் தேவாமுதம் கயக்கும் நிதழ்பானம் செய்த பாகியத்தின் விழுத்து பார்த்து படைக்கின்றேன் மோனம் தோய்ந்த முழு மூல முதல் வெங்கடனை அடிச்சிய மானம் கவர்ந்த மாயோனை அழைத்து வாரும் வண்டீரே அழைத்து வாரும் வண்டீரே தேனும் பாலும் தித்திக்கும் தேவாமுதம் கயக்கும் ஆனையுண்ட விலங்கனியா அந்தென்னுயிரை உட்கொண்டான் பூனை போல்வான் புலி போல்வான் புடை போல் மனத்தார் புலம்புருவே பூனை உருக்கி உளம் உருக்கும் ஆ ஆ ஆ ஊனை உருக்கி உளம் உருக்கும் உடைவே கடனை அடிச்சியேன் தானே கவர்ந்த மாயோனை அழைத்து தாரும் வந்தீரே அழைத்து தாரும் வந்தீரே தேனும் பாலும் தித்திக்கும் தேவாமுதம் கயக்கும் துன்பம் எனக்கு மீதூர துறந்தான் கண்டீர் முக்தி மகள் இன்பம் நுகர்ந்து கிடக்கின்றான். யான் இங்கு இருந்து புலம்புருவேன் என்பின் பொறை தோரமுதேற்றும் இறைவேங்கடனை அடிச்சேன் அன்பு கவர்ந்த மாயோனே அழைத்து வாழும் வந்தீரே அழைத்து வாழும் வந்தீரே. தேனும் பாலும் தித்திப்பும் தேவாமுதம் கயக்கும் இதழ்பானம் செய்த பாஜ்யத்தின் விழுத்து பார்த்து படைக்கின்றேன். மோனம் தோய்ந்த முழு மூல முதல் வேங்கடனை அடிச்சியே நானம் கவர்ந்த மாயோனை அழைத்து வாரும் வண்டீரே அழைத்து வாரும் வண்டீரே. ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீரமணாய.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Bhagavan says Arunachala is the heart of the whole earth. So from that Arunachala, from that everything rises and everything sets into that. Likewise, the self is the heart, is in the heart. Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahmamatram. It shines as I in our heart. And from there everything rises and everything sets there. When there is only the self, who can say anything to anybody? Where can anyone go or where can anybody come? Can we say, this is me, that is you? Because there is only the self which is making everything happen. Every action is done only by the self. So our identity is lost in the self and we become that self. When that has happened, Ramanan oruvane irukkail, Ramanan is the only one who is present. There's a wonderful song written by Dr. Sarada, music by L. Krishnan. யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில், யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில், ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன் ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன் ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன். யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில், கிழக்கு எங்கே மேற்கு எங்கே வடக்கு எங்கே தெற்கு எங்கே வழியும் எங்கே வீடு எங்கே, எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில், கிழக்கு எங்கே மேற்கு எங்கே வடக்கு எங்கே தெற்கு எங்கே வழியும் எங்கே வீடு எங்கே, எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில், எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில், எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில், எங்கெங்கும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில், யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில், காலை எதுவோ மாலை எதுவோ விழிப்பு எதுவோ தூக்கம் எதுவோ, காலை எதுவோ மாலை எதுவோ விழிப்பு எதுவோ தூக்கம் எதுவோ கனவு எதுவோ நினைவு எதுவோ எப்போதும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் கனவும் எதுவோ நினைவும் எதுவோ எப்போதும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் எப்போதும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் கணம் தோறும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் கணம் தோறும் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில் தொலைத்ததெதனை அடைந்ததெதனை பிரிந்ததெதனை சேர்வதெதனை தொலைத்ததெதனை அடைந்ததெதனை பிரிந்ததெதனை சேர்ந்ததெதனை தேடி நாடி அடைவதும் யாரோ அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் தேடி நாடி அடைவதும் யாரோ அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் அனைத்துமாய் ரமணனே இருக்கையில் யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில் நான் அவன் என்ற சொல் சூழலிலே அகப்படாதே பேதை மனமே நான் அவன் என்ற சொல் சூழலிலே அகப்படாதே பேதை மனமே ரமணாயனும் பேரன்ப வெளியிலே ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில் ரமணாயனும் பேரன்ப வெளியிலே ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில் ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில் ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில் ரமணனே ரமணனாயிருக்கையில் யார் எவரிடம் என்ன சொல்வது ரமணன் ஒருவனே இருக்கையில் ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன் ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன் ரமணன் ஒருவன் ரமணன். நமோ ரமண.
Namo Ramana. Those were the Ramananjali Sangeetam offerings, where Mahalakshmi Suryanandam sings of Bhagavan Ramana as Shanta Guru, and she ends saying he is the Jyoti Swarupa. And Dr. Pratibha Sundaresh sang a song in praise of Sundaram Iyer, who was from the Parashara Gotram, and it is said that the Parashara Maharshi has written verses on Agni, the Jnanagni in the Vedas. Such is the lineage in which Sundaram Iyer was born, and he gave birth to Ramana, who is the embodiment of knowledge. And Ramana is the embodiment of that consciousness which shines in all beings. So we see this very special month of June is celebrated as the month where he liberated Mother Cow Lakshmi, and we celebrate it as Prani Mitra Ramana Day, where he showered his love to all the beings. And Muruganar Swami, as if understanding this, that Ramana is more closer to all the animals, he says through the song rendered by Savitri Akka and Jaisriram Anna, that the bees are the best messengers to take our message to Bhagavan Ramana. So the Naika, the devotee, sends the message through the bee messengers to Ramana. And in reply, Revathi sang a song by Dr. Sarada where Ramana makes us understand that everything is me. When everything is me, from where to where you're going to send the message. I am within you. If you abide as yourself, then that is the true communication that you can do. That is the true union that you are seeking for, says Bhagavan Ramana to us. We continue the satsang with reading and sharing by Sri Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. In this the book reading segment of our satsang, we have been reading from the book Ramana's Muruganar, a birth centenary celebration offering, edited and compiled by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajanji. We are now in the account of Shri Sadhuhom Swamigal. The account is entitled Shri Muruganar, the right hand of Bhagavan. Shri Muruganar, the right hand of Shri Bhagavan. We see the account taking us to Muruganar coming to Bhagavan with poems in the place of fruits. Just like a person taking fruit as an offering to God, the poet Shri Muruganar composed the song Desika Padigam and brought it as an offering to Shri Bhagavan. Thereafter, he began to compose many songs in praise of Shri Bhagavan, during which time he one day composed his Tiruvembavai, beginning with the words Annamalai Ramanan. Seeing that the verses of that song were replete with many sublime features similar to Manikavachakar's Tiruvachakam, Shri Bhagavan playfully asked, "Can you sing like Manikavachakar?" Though Shri Muruganar took these words to be a divine command from his Guru, he prayed to him, "Where is Manikavachakar's divine experience of true jnana, and where is my state of ajnana? Only if Bhagavan removes my ajnana by his grace will it be possible for me to sing like Manikavachakar. By the mere talent of this ego, how is it possible to sing like him?" Referring to the grace which Sri Bhagavan bestowed upon him, the moment he prayed thus, Sri Muruganar sings in the Nool Varalaru of Sri Ramanacentre Murai, "I said, where is my ignorant mind? Where is my ignorant mind, which is like an owl, blind to the bright sunlight, and which is darker than even the darkest darkness? And where is his experience of the self, Atma Anubhuti, which surges as the true jnana, devoid of dark delusion? To compare me with him is like comparing a firefly with the sun." Muruganar is writing to Bhagavan to compare him with Manikavachakar. Is like comparing the firefly with the sun. As I said thus, I languished. And as I languished, that Lord who shines in my heart stirred my mind and made it blossom by his grace. And thus, without my doing, he composed the work Sri Ramanacentre Murai, so that his true glory should flourish and shine exalted. As I said, thus I languished, and as I languished, that Lord who shines in my heart stirred my mind and made it blossom by his grace. And thus, without my doing, he composed the work Sri Ramanacentre Murai, so that his true glory should flourish and shine exalted. Thus, becoming a target of Sri Bhagavan's supreme love, Sri Muruganar was transformed into an exalted divine poet. Just as Lord Shiva made Manikavachakar sing Tiruvachakam, having bestowed upon him Atmanubhuti, so Sri Bhagavan made Sri Muruganar sing Sri Ramanacentre Murai, like Tiruvachakam, having in a single moment stirred his mind by his grace and having thereby bestowed upon him the same Anubhuti. Many of the songs of Devaram and Tiruvachakam sung in praise of Lord Shiva are extant even today after more than 1,000 years and are still being sung melodiously and with great love by devotees. Similarly, thousands of songs sung by the Alvars in praise of Lord Vishnu are still surviving and being sung in beautiful melodies. The reason why these songs have not perished with the passage of time but are forever shining gloriously lies both in the God realization of the divine poets who sang them and in the benign grace of the divine and the divine grace of the Lords upon whom they were sung. See how the poet gives us some indications as to how we have these immortal poems in our literature and various musical traditions. The reason why these songs have not perished with the passage of time but are forever shining gloriously lies both in the God realization of the divine poets who sang them and in the benign grace of the Lords upon whom they were sung. Only such divine songs can shine in the world with ever unceasing glory. Just like Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, Sri Ramana Bhagavan has by his benign grace transformed some of his pure devotees into peerless divine poets and has blessed them to sing sublime songs in praise of him. When we observe the history of the world, we can see that among all the great jnanis who have appeared on earth, Sri Ramana is unique. Sri Ramana is unique in having been praised on a par with Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Lord. During his very lifetime, in thousands of beautiful verses, sung by divinely inspired poets in a grand and noble style of classical Tamil. So, this great devotee is putting his Guru in the highest pedestal possible, saying that Bhagavan is unique in that even in his lifetime, there have been praises of him as Shiva and as Vishnu, and not by ordinary minds, but by divinely inspired poets. That means, verily the Lord himself or divinity itself, Supreme Being itself has written these verses on Bhagavan. Because in divine inspiration, who else is writing but the God himself? Just as in their state of Shiva Sayujya Mukti or absolute union with God, Manikavachakar sang Tiruvachakam and Jnana Sambandhar Appar and Sundarar sang Devaram. So in the, it should be Devaram, so in the same supreme state, in that same supreme state, Sri Muruganar, the sovereign among divine poets, sang about 30,000 sublime Tamil verses about his Sadguru Nata, Sri Ramana Bhagavan. Among these poetic outpourings of Sri Muruganar, 1,851 verses sung as Totras in praise of Sri Bhagavan form the work Sri Ramana Sannidhi Murai. Though it may appear a little difficult for some people who are not sufficiently well versed in Tamil to understand the meaning of all the verses of Sri Ramana Sannidhi Murai, mere recitation of these verses will be sufficient to enable devotees to obtain the grace of the Lord, for these words are the holy words of a divine soul who has attained self-knowledge. Since it has come from that source, the very doing of Parayana of this Shabda, without even being able to know the meanings, it will take us to the same source. By the grace of Sri Bhagavan, all his close devotees who had real aspiration for liberation were able to understand correctly his path of self-enquiry and to attain the real benefit thereof. Such true disciples of Sri Bhagavan were able to see as clearly as an amalaka fruit in the hand that when compared with all the other spiritual paths which so many aspirants have till now undertaken in order to attain the experience of the reality, the path of the enquiry, who am I, taught by Bhagavan, is by far the most easy and direct path. But ordinary people who do not possess this true aspiration or complete faith in any path are seen straying about everywhere, saying that Sri Ramana's path of self-enquiry is very difficult. Even among the early devotees of Sri Bhagavan, there were many who used to declare that the path of self-enquiry is very difficult, and that the other methods of upasana, such as puja, japa, and dhyana, are very much easier than self-enquiry. But due to Sri Muruganar's wholehearted faith in Sri Bhagavan, his one-pointed Guru Bhakti and his complete surrender, the grace of Sri Bhagavan enabled him to follow the path of self-enquiry and attain the experience of self-knowledge. Thus, from his own experience, Sri Muruganar realized that self-enquiry is the direct and easy path for all. However, when Muruganar saw that many devotees were going astray due to the wrong belief that Sri Bhagavan's path of self-enquiry is difficult, an idea arose in his heart, and that Sri Bhagavan should be prompted to compose a song revealing how this path is much easier than any other path in order to protect and guide correctly all true spiritual aspirants. Therefore, in the ecstasy of a divine joy arising from his experience of the path of self-enquiry and of the fruit of self-knowledge attained by following that path, on Sunday, 24th April 1927, Sri Muruganar composed the Pallavi and Anupallavi of the song Atma Vidya Sankirtanam, in which he sang, so very easy is Atma Vidya, Aye Ati Sulabham, the science of the self. So very easy, even to an ordinary person. Self is so very real, and in comparison to an amalaka fruit in the palm, resides as, and in comparison to the self, the amalaka fruit in the palm resides as unreal. After composing those lines, Sri Muruganar approached Sri Bhagavan and prayed, graciously compose the charanams for this song. Approving the idea and the feelings of his disciple, Sri Bhagavan completed this song by expounding from his own experience the easiness, greatness, necessity, and fruit of Atma Vidya, the supreme science of self-knowledge. I'll read that again. Approving the idea and feelings of his disciple, Sri Bhagavan completed this song, the Atma Vidya Sankirtanam, by expounding from his own experience the easiness, greatness, necessity, and the fruit of Atma Vidya, the supreme science of self-knowledge. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramana.
Namo Ramana. Muruganar Swami, knowing the truth that to attain Atma Jnana, the Atma Vichara is the direct path, and it is very, very easy. So he prompted Ramana to write this Atma Vidya Kirtanam, where he says, Ayye Ati Sulabham, Atma Vidya Ayye Ati Sulabham. Then what is it that which is stopping us from realizing our own true nature? Ramana says that practice, and more practice alone is the way to abide as the self. Now I request Sri Dileep Simha ji to lead us to the practice session of self-enquiry.
Namo Ramana. Dhyayet Sharada Chandra Sundaramukam ताम्रारविन्दे क्षणम् भक्ताभीष्टवराभयप्रदकरम् कौपीनमात्रोज्ज्वलम् स्वात्मानन्दरसानुभूतिविवशम् सर्वानवद्याङ्गकम् श्रीमन्तं श्रीरमणीश्वरं गुरुवरम् योगासनाध्यासितं ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणीश्वरम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामज्जतव पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्. We will commence the evening Atma Vicharam by listening to Bhagavan's Upadesham and meditating on it, then followed by a practice session. I'll be reading Bhagavan's Upadesham from the book Guru Vachaka Kovai, from the chapter Experience of the Truth. The topic is the greatness of beingness. Verse 980. Only your self-nature as being. Distinct from this, everything else is only a bundle of concepts, which are a deception. All those concepts that do not have true being eventually leave one, but this one, self-nature, never leaves. I repeat the verse. Only your self-nature as being. Distinct from this, everything else is only a bundle of concepts, which are a deception. All those concepts that do not have true being eventually leave one, but this one self-nature never leaves. In here, if we were to take the self-nature of beingness as that of gold, equivalent to gold, then all other concepts like bangle or a chain or a necklace, all of it is nothing but the gold itself. All of them may lose their shape, form in course of time, but they being the gold will never go away. That will remain always. So in that way, though all the concepts, distinct concepts, may rise and may all look to be real, may all have, when they appear as concepts in us, all seem to be there, very real. Their beingness is coming from one's own self-nature, says Bhagavan here. So all of these stuff that we are experiencing, which are looking very, very different, eventually have got their beingness are aware because of the nature of the self, which is pure being, pure awareness. All these deceptions may dissolve one day because they don't have their own true being. That means they have borrowed their existence, their presence from the of the self. So therefore, since they have appeared, they will disappear. Like a bangle which was created from gold has taken a form and may get back again as the pure gold, which is always a gold, though we saw that it is not so. We saw it as a gold bangle with a distinction. So this distinction is not real, says Bhagavan. Therefore, we have to see that the greatness of beingness is that it alone is, as it was told to us by Nandakumarji in reading Muruganar Swami's account. That is the greatness of self-enquiry. The self-enquiry, by repeatedly moving our attention from these concepts to by inquiring to whom is this, and recognizing that it is for me, that one entity called I, for whom all these concepts are appearing. And by further inquiring who am I, takes us to that pure being, to that pure nature of self, which is the being. And by repeatedly taking us, makes us, that is the being experiencing itself, understands that that alone has the real existence. All other concepts, all other things seem to exist only because of its attention towards them, or only because it lent it, or only we can say it is the temporary appearance of that same beingness in the stula sukshma form, but will eventually go away. And in that we see that there is absolutely no difference. Everything is that one self. So here Bhagavan is saying all those concepts do not have true being, eventually leave one, but this one self nature never leaves. So by remaining in that pure nature of the self, we are one with all of the past, if at all we can say there was, and all of the future, if that self would manifest in future. Because all of those stuff would be made by this pure being alone. Therefore, here and now, we experience by inquiring to whom is this, who am I? Any thought, any concepts, any gross, anything which is objective, by inquiring to whom is this, who am I, we get back to the pure self, the existence which is lending reality to everything, which alone is everything here and now. And by repeated practice, that direct experience of oneself is got here and now, not somewhere. It is not achieved either. It is only realized. That's how this self is. All the wrong concepts of duality as separateness would drop away, revealing the oneness, that stuff with which all of this is made. And that is why this Atma Vichara is the most direct path, as it relentlessly, for every thought, takes us back to that oneness, removing all the wrong notions of divisions by diligently asking to whom is this, who am I? Therefore, whoever practices this self-enquiry finds that the path and the goal becomes one. The goal which we think that the Advaita Sthiti, the non-dual state, will be achieved someday, will be found that it alone is and is experienced, is made to be experienced here and now by this enquiry. And by repeated practice, Bhagavan assures that pure self, which alone is, will rise and shine as all the dualities are inquired and used as an opportunity to experience the oneness. With His abundant grace, with which alone we have come to this most direct path, for the next 10 minutes, let us practice Atma Vichara. Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We continue the satsang with the sharing by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji on the work Anma Bodham, originally written by Shankaracharya, and we have a translation of it by Bhagavan Ramana in Tamil. We have the sharing by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji.
Sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviram karvavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamoolam Guror Murti Pujamulam Guror Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Guror Kripaha. Mokshamulam Guror. We're doing Manana on Atma Bodha. The last satsang, we do a little recap of verse number 35. Like space, I pervade everything, inside and outside, never fallen. Same in all, I am eternal, unattached, pure and motionless. The self is compared to space. The similes that are usually one or two particular points common to both the objects. The common features are both space and self are all pervading. Space allows things to exist in it without itself being conditioned by them. So we'll do Manana today on verse number 36. I request Sapna to kindly chant the verse, please.
Yes, sir. नित्यशुद्धा विमुक्तैकम् अखण्डानन्दमद्वयं सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं यत्परं ब्रह्माहं एव तत्. नित्यशुद्धा विमुक्तैकम् अखण्डानन्दमद्वयं सत्यं ज्ञानम् अनन्तं यत्परं ब्रह्माहं एव तत्. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sapna. Some more indicative definitions of Brahman are given to help the seeker continue the process of liberation. They are different views emphasizing particular aspects of the same Brahman. Together, they provide the material for contemplation, meditation, and realization of Brahman. Nitya means eternal. The same word is used in verse 34. The repetition of the term is perhaps to help an aspirant maintain a constant reflection of this idea till the impression of the truth is established in his mind. Shuddha means immaculate.
The Atman is the core of the human personality. It enables the five material layers to perform their respective functions, but none of these functions affect the Atman. Atman is comparable to electricity. Electricity functioning through different equipments produces different expressions such as heat, cold, music, etc. Yet, electricity remains totally unaffected by any of those expressions. Similarly, the Atman remains ever immaculate, uncontaminated by the functions of the material equipments. Vimukta means liberated. You are bound by the activities of your physical body, mind, and the intellect. But when you are asleep, you're free from this bondage. This freedom from limitations imposed by material equipments gained in deep sleep is temporary. You fall back into your limited existence again no sooner you wake up. On realization of the self, however, you get totally liberated from material entanglements. You then enjoy supreme, everlasting freedom. Ekam means one. When you gain supreme realization from the entanglements of different natures, you merge with the reality. The entire pluralistic phenomena vanish, and there exists nothing but that one reality. Hence, it is described as Ekam. Akhandam Anandam means unbroken bliss. The joys derived from the contact with the objects of the world are temporary. In contrast to the fleeting pleasures derived through materialistic equipments, the bliss of self realization is absolute and eternal. This supreme bliss is the ultimate goal of human evolution. It is everlasting, hence indicated as unbroken bliss. Advayam means non-dual. Brahman is commonly referred as one, Ekam, in order to emphasize that it is something other than the pluralistic phenomena conceived by the human mind. In fact, Brahman cannot be used as the word one suggests, for then it would be imposing a limit upon it. Hence, a very more appropriate reference to Brahman is the term. Satyam Jnanam Anantam means truth, knowledge, infinity. This is a quote from Brihadaranya Upanishads. Satyam is translated as truth. It means that which remains ever the same at all times in the past, present, and future. Jnanam means the knowledge. When pure knowledge is directed towards an object, the presence of the object is known. When the object is removed, the absence of the object is also known. Thus, the same knowing principle enables you to gain knowledge and ignorance in the world. This knowing principle in you is called jnanam. Anantam means endless, infinite. The human equipments, their functions, and the entire world of objects are finite and perishable. They emerge out of the Brahman, exist for a while in Brahman, and ultimately merge into the Brahman. They are like waves in the ocean. The waves have a temporary existence, but the ocean is permanent. The world of objects and beings have a beginning and an end. Brahman, the substratum upon which the world appears and disappears as beginningless and endless, infinite. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana.
Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to the next part of the satsang, where we are meditating on the verses of Ramana Chatvarimshat written by Ganapati Muni And they have been compiled and given to us with this title, Ramana Chatvarimshat, by Bhagavan Ramana himself. Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami. Yadi na janani stanyam dadyat shishor bhatakagatihi. Yadi na janani stanyam dadyat shishor bhatakagatihi. Yadi pashupatihi krodam kuryat pashoravanam kutah. Yadi pashupatihi krodam kuryat pashoravanam kutah. Yadi padajusham acharyatvam nihamsina samshayam. Brahmashata para bhutayete tarantu bhavam katam. Brahmashata para bhutayete tarantu bhavam katam. Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami, Ramanam Gurum Namami. Bandeno ninna bali nondu Ramana, Bhavada kattale hariso divya charana. Bandeno ninna bali nondu Ramana, Bhavada kattale hariso divya charana. Bandeno, bandeno, ತಾಯಿ ಮುನಿಯಲು ಮಗು ತಾವುಳಿಯುವುದೇನು, ಪಶುಪತಿಯೇ ಮುನಿಯಲು ಪಶು ನರಳದೇನು. ತಾಯಿ ಮುನಿಯಲು ಮಗು ತಾವುಳಿಯುವುದೇನು, ಪಶುಪತಿಯೇ ಮುನಿಯಲು ಪಶು ನರಳದೇನು. ವಿಧಿಯದುರು ನಿಂತ ಮಾನವನ ಬಗೆಯೇನು, ವಿಧಿಯದುರು ನಿಂತ ಮಾನವನ ಬಗೆಯೇನು. ನಿನ್ನ ಕೃಪೆ ತಪ್ಪಿದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಗತಿಯೇನು. ಬಂದೆನೋ ನಿನ್ನ ಬಳಿ ನೊಂದು ರಮಣ, ಭವದ ಕತ್ತಲೆ ಹರಿಸೋ ದಿವ್ಯ ಚರಣ. ಭವದ ಕತ್ತಲೆ ಹರಿಸೋ ದಿವ್ಯ ಚರಣ. ಬಂದೆನೋ ಬಂದೆನೋ. These words of Ganapati Muni has been translated in this form by Dr. N.S. Lakshmi Narayana Bhatta. Ganapati Muni says, if your karuna is not there, then those people who are filled with so much of doubts and conflicts in their lives, how will they ever cross this ocean of doubts and problems that they are facing? O Ramana, Bhavada Kattale Hariso Divya Charana, I have come to your feet, and it is your responsibility to take me across this darkness of bhava. Bhava is becoming something. We are constantly want to be this or that. We either want to be walking, we have to be sitting, or we have to be standing, or talking, or being listening. So we want to be something every moment. That is called the bhava. And this is called the bhava roga. We are addicted to this habit of being something or the other. Ramana says, you don't have to be anything at all to just be. Even if you are not anything, you are ever present. That is the Sat. That is the Atma Tattva. You are that. But we are constantly thinking that we have to do something to become this. We have to do that something to become that. So we are always working to accomplish something in our lives. But Ramana, his teaching is silence. He is just like that Arunachala hill. He is just still and silent, and he is pouring his teaching to all of us. He is telling the true joy is just to be still, like Arunachala. So we could see that Ramana and Arunachala were synonym to each other. We could see that Ramana was Arunachala, and Arunachala has been embodied as Ramana. When his mother, just like the devotee here Ganapati Muni says, that devotee who has come to your feet, and if you do not answer the questions placed by the devotees and you are in silence, then what would happen to the devotee? That we can see in the life of mother. The mother came knowing that his son Venkatraman is in Tiruvannamalai, and she was waiting for the opportunity so that she could come with his elder son Nagaswamy to see Ramana and persuade him to come back home. And she got to know that Ramana was staying in a small hilak called Pavalkundre, where there is a temple of Ardhanarishwara. There she went up the hilak, and she was stunned and she was shocked seeing the state of her son. The body of his son is covered with dirt and grime, and he is just wearing a loin cloth, and his nails have grown long and curled, and his hair has grown long and has been matted, and she doesn't know who is taking care of my son. Is he getting a meal every day at least to survive? She does not know that anybody is taking care of him or not. And she pleads to her son, "Oh Venkatrama, come back home. We will not disturb your penance." She thinks that he has come here to perform the penance. But Ramana had already attained the fruit of all penance, and he was abiding as in that goal, which is the self, and he was abiding there. But the mother did not understand his supreme state. Yet so she pleaded again and again to come back home. And she used to cry from morning till evening. At the end of the day, she used to go back to the town where she was staying, and then come back again the next day morning to again continue pleading. And she says, "Oh Venkatrama, have you become like this rocky mountain Arunachala? Has your heart become hard like a stone? Can't you hear the plea of this mother? Can't you not respond? Can't you not come back home?" And Ramana was silent. And this happened again for a few more days, and the holiday was getting over, and Nagaswamy had to get back to his work. So they had to leave Tiruvannamalai, and the mother was in despair. And one of the devotees, he requested Bhagavan, "Swami, she says she is your mother, and we don't know what is right and what is wrong, but we cannot see this plight of this mother. So don't break your silence, but please take this small piece of paper and pencil and write a reply to her. Just respond whether you're going to come or not in the form of writing, said one of the devotees. And Ramana took that paper and pencil and wrote the first Upadesha to his own mother. And he says, Avaravara Prapta Prakaram Adarkanavan Angang Irinde Atti Veppan. The Supreme, who is there everywhere, here, everywhere, he makes everything move by the prarabdha of what is destined by that jiva or that object. He makes everything move. So what is destined to happen will surely happen. There is no use, even if you are putting lot of effort, it may not succeed. And what is not destined to happen will not happen, even if you give all your effort to make it happen. This is true. So what is the course that we need to take? To be silent is the best course, said the written Upadesha of Bhagavan Ramana. And the mother understood the teaching in that she was a ripe soul. Kunjuswami says, when a scene of Alagammal was presented in a ballet called Ramana Vijaya in Ramanashramam, and the great devotees like Kunjuswami were part of the presentation, and they came and told Dr. Sarada, who was director of the program, that you showed the mother Alagammal's role, but I have seen mother. She was a very, very ripe soul. She would have not cried like any normal women, but she was very, very ripe. She would have understood the greatness of tapasya. If she thought that his son had come for tapasya, she would have understood the value of tapasya. So that's why she offered, come back home and continue with your tapasya. I will not cause any obstacle in your tapasya, said mother to Venkatraman at that point of time. But when she got this Upadesha, she was such a ripe soul that she understood and she grasped the true teaching in this, and she went back home, and she never returned back for a long time, about 11 years. Although she came back to visit him one or two times, and before she completely surrendered to him, she had understood that the best course is to remain silent, and whatever is destined to happen will surely happen. Maybe this is the reason N.S. Lakshminarayan Bhatta says, Vidiyeduru ninta manavana bhagayenu, Vidiyeduru ninta manavana bhagayenu, Ninna kripe tappidare nammagatiyenu. We who think that, oh, this is our prarabdha, that this is happening to us and this is happening to us, this should not have happened to us, why did this happen to us, that had to happen the other way. So we are always questioning the vidhi, the fate, the destiny. But Ramana is smiling in silence and telling us the truth, that what is destined to happen will surely happen. The story is already written by the Supreme Director. We are all actors and we do not know the story. We do not have any free will to change the story, because the story is already written and it is destined to happen that way. What is the freedom then? Ramana says the only freedom is not to get attached to that destiny, to have constant thoughts, oh, this should not happen, this should happen like this, if I do like this, it may not happen that way. So we are constantly filled with this, the bhava roga of thinking, I have to change this, I have to do this, I have to do this. our mind is always cluttered with thoughts. And Ramana says, you have a choice of not cluttering yourself with all these unwanted commentary called thoughts. You can stay apart from all that is being destined. It is playing its role and it is moving. And what is the free will that we have is to turn within and be detached from what is happening and abide in the silence, which is our own true nature. To teach this truth, Ramana, who with his unlimited compassion has been available to all the beings, beaming with his silent smile and drawing everyone's attention towards the heart where lies all solutions. And he reminds us that is the only path to get rid of this ocean of thousands and thousands of problems that we are facing. The only solution is to turn back within ourselves to understand our own true nature, which is not these problems and thoughts which come and go. It is not these thousands of doubts that we may get. Ramana says, turn within and find out who is it who is doubting, who is it who thinks, who is it who ever exists. And that is the path for freedom from all problems. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We continue with the sharing by Dr. Sarada. She has been meditating on the namas from the Ramana Ashtottara written by Vishwanatha Swami.
Namo Ramana. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. By the immense grace of the self, manifest as Ramana, we in this part of the satsang are meditating on the namas of the Ramana Ashtottara, as Ujwal just said. And we are on the nama Om Virupaksha Guhavasaya Namaha. The Ramana Ashtottara has taken us on a journey of Bhagwan's life. So we have traveled with Bhagwan to his stay at Virupaksha Guha, and we had a glimpse of his spiritual ministration to Gambhiram Sheshayar. But somewhere along the line, we shifted to Mother Alagamma, probably because the last week was also close to Mother's 31st of May was Mother's Aradhana. So our mind went to Mother Alagamma, and Ujwal has been speaking of Mother Alagamma's first visit to Bhagavan when she came as a mother to her son. He's a right mother, a very right mother, ready to accept even tapasya in her son. But it was her son to whom she came. And it was with the thought of taking care of him. She wanted to take care of him. She wanted an opportunity to take care of him. She told him, I will take care of you. You allow me to take care of you. Because that's what a mother does, right? When a mother has taken care of the child from when the child is inside her womb, she would have taken care of what she had to eat, what she had to not eat, in every way. She would have. So, what disturbs a mother is that her child is not cared for. Of course, there is the thought, there might be sometimes a thought in a mother or a father that the child will take care of her. That may be there. But the primary thing of a mother, and that too to feed, is so natural to Alagamma. She has not only fed her children, she had fed every visitor to Tiruchuri, whoever would come to their house, day and night. The house doors were open to visitors, And so was Aragamma's kitchen stove was open all the time. She would cook food and feed people. So for her, the great anguish when she saw Bhagavan was that he was not really having any proper food to eat. She, as a mother, she would have lovingly fed him sweets and all what other snacks. Even some versions say that she carried with her some sweets and snacks to give him whichever he was fond of. That's the mother's heart. So, who is going to feed you? Who is going to take care of you? That is the thought. I will take care of you. Apart from the fact that I want you near me. I want you near me. Therefore, you do your tapasya in our own place. But again, as Ujwal said, it was not for doing tapas that Bhagavan had gone to Arunachala. Even his uncle Nelliyapayar did not realize Bhagavan's stature. But he was also a spiritually advanced person, and he was concerned that, okay, if Bhagavan has gone there to do tapasya, will he attain the ultimate goal of self-knowledge having gone there? That was his concern. It's okay, he has left home and hearth and gone there, but will he attain his goal? So he had asked a sadhu near Bhagavan's Guru Murtam those days when Nelliyapayar came and saw Bhagavan, and Bhagavan had said, I will not come back, in the sense that he was totally silent. He was rock-like then as well. And Nelliyapayar didn't even get a written message like Mother got. But the sadhu said, oh, this boy, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know Shastra. He simply come away from home. I do not know. He will not make any progress in his sadhana. I doubt it. So Nelliyapayar was having a different concern. Mother had different concern. And Bhagavan, being Bhagavan, he allowed all the concerns to be wiped out and each one of them to come to peace. Even to Nelliyapayar, Bhagavan sweetly says that he visited a couple of times. The second time he was visiting, the first time he was visiting, Bhagavan was silent still. The second time he was visiting, Bhagavan says, I had my back to the entrance and he was already explaining the Shastra. He was in the part of explaining a sloka when Nelliyapayar entered. And then Bhagavan said, already he had seen me talking about that. I did not stop. I finished explaining. So his heart was at rest that I was not there without knowing anything. So he fulfilled Nelliyapayar's anguish. And mother's anguish, what happened to mother? Mother realized that it is not she who has to take care of this son of hers, who is to take care of her. And she came to him twice in between before she came to stay with him permanently. So once when she came to pray for, that was also at Virupaksha cave, to pray for the continuing of the lineage of Sundaram. And then, as we saw last time, she was blessed with a grandson who continued the lineage of Sundaram. And that lineage takes care of Sri Ramanashramam till date. Now, the other incident which we saw when mother came to be with Bhagavan at Virupaksha cave once, that was, I think, on her return from a pilgrimage to Tirupati, she had fallen ill with typhoid, and Bhagavan composed a prayer for her recovery, a very beautiful prayer. And he starts, Alayai Barupiravi Attanayum Matra Malaya Ezhunda Marunde. He says, oh, medicine mountain, rare medicine mountain. Malai Marundai Olir Arunachala, Bhagavan says in Aksharamanamalai also, this is a rare medicine. What is this medicine for? It is a medicine to cut away this repetitive cycle of births which are coming again and again and again. Alayai varu piravi attanayum matra. Why are you standing as a mountain? It is to change this continuous chain, this unbroken chain of birth after birth after birth. Alayai varu piravi. It's coming like wave after wave, rolling in, rolling in, rolling in. Attanayum matra malaya ezhunda marunde. So the first concept which Bhagavan is giving us is, what is there in this becoming? What is there in being born again and again and again? And we may not understand the seriousness of birth because we have no memory of birth. And to us, birth of any birth, when we see children, when children are born, when a new flower blossoms, when the day dawns, when something is new, when there is birth, for us it's a matter of celebration. So why should it be changed? Why shouldn't there be birth? This may be a question. Why does Arunachala want to change all our being born again and again? Being born is beautiful, isn't it? But actually the great ones say that being born is not a beautiful, very beautiful experience. They say being in the womb is a very difficult experience. Annai vayittril uru pannamal anba kanpar. Gohi Namah Shivaya, praise to Arunachala. Let me not again go into a mother's womb. They say it's really a difficult experience. But if we look at it even in our life, within our lifespan, forget about when we were born or will we be born again. Actually, every thought which arises within us, every longing which arises within us is a new birth. Again and again and again, oh, I want to do this, I want to experience this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to experience this. This is how we are continuously, we are being born with every thought of ours. And at some point of time, we may become a little tired and we may wonder, why this endless movement? Why this endless seeking? Again and again and again, I have tried to get something. I have believed that the solution is there. I will get happiness. If this problem is solved, I will become happy. If that is attained, I will become happy. Again and again and again and again, the mind is going out and out and out. Until now, it has not experienced the fullness of peace. It has not experienced the fullness of happiness. Otherwise, why will it be seeking again and again? So when we get tired, then Arunachala is available to us to cut away this endless cycle of becoming. What is birth? It is becoming again and again and again, identifying with something, rising as an identity, again and again and again, different forms, becoming different emotions, becoming different roles, becoming different desires, becoming different fears. Constantly we are assuming new identities. Though we imagine we are the same person from birth till now, but it's hardly like that. We are constantly assuming something new. And that, when we want alayai varupirivi attanayum matra malaya edunda marunde, says Bhagavan, Taleva, O Supreme One, O Lord, Nin Tal Gatiyai Varum, Yen Tai Tapam Matriye Alvadumun Kadaneyam. It is your duty to cut away the suffering of my mother. Why? Because I have taken refuge in you. You are my only refuge. And I am telling you, I am requesting you to take care of my mother because I owe her this debt of gratitude. If but for my mother, could I have been born? Could I have thought of you? Could I have taken refuge in you, Arunachala? So, because this has been possible for me to take refuge in you as my only refuge, therefore, O Arunachala, take care of my mother. It becomes your duty because, firstly, I cannot do anything for her because I have taken refuge in you. You alone have to do anything. If something has to be done, it has to be you. It is not I who can do anything. It has to be you because I have taken refuge in you. And why am I asking that she should be taken care of? Because she's my mother. And this debt of gratitude I owe to her. That is the indication of Bhagavan's first verse, that we all owe a great debt of gratitude to our parents and to the mother. And Bhagavan is he is Purushottama. He is the epitome of perfection. In everything, in his conduct, there is perfection. And gratitude is one of the most important qualities which is extolled in the scriptures. And that debt of gratitude to the mother is reminding us of in this prayer. This also happened at Virupaksha cave. And by Bhagavan's grace, let us continue to dwell on this prayer in the coming satsang. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We have the chanting of Arunachala Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V. Radha and Vallabh Srinivasan.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. வீடு விட்டீர்த்துண விடுப்புக்கு பயவுன் வீடு கட்டினை அருள் அருணாச்சலா. வெடி விட்டேன் உன் செயல் வெறுத்திடாதுன் அருள் வெடி விட்டென்னை அருணாச்சலா. வேதாந்தத்தே வேரற விளங்கும் வேத பொருள் அருள் அருணாச்சலா. வைதலை வாழ்த்தா வைத்தருள் கொடியா வைத்தென்னை விடாதருள் அருணாச்சலா. அம்புவில்லாலி போல் அன்புரு உன்னில் என்னை அன்பா கரைத்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணை என்றென்னை அருள் கண்ணி பட்டேன் உன் அருள் வல்லை தப்புமோ அருணாச்சலா. சிந்தித்தருப்பட சிலந்தி போல் கட்டி சிறையேற்றுண்டனை அருணாச்சலா. அன்போடு நாமம் கிளம்பத்தம் அன்பரு கண்பனாயிட அருள் அருணாச்சலா. என் போலும் தீனர இன்புற காத்து நீ என்னாலும் வாழ்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. என் குரு கண்பத்தம் என் சொற்கள் செவியும் என் பொன்மொழி கொட அருள் அருணாச்சலா. பொறுமயம் பூதர புன் சொல்லை நன் சொல்ல பொறுத்தருள் இஷ்டம் பின் அருணாச்சலா. மாலை எழுத்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. மாலை அடித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचलं வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ ரமண.
Namo Ramana. We conclude today's satsang with Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan, which will be done by Shri Dileep Simha ji, and the chanting of the Ashtottaram will be done by Vaibhavji and Prarthana, followed by Uma Shripati, and we will conclude with the Arati to Bhagavan. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
नमो रमण. भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मि मात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. ॐ महासे नमः. ॐ शयन जाताय नमः. ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः. ॐ गुरवे नमः. ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः. ॐ महौजसे नमः. ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः. ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः. ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः. ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः. ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः. ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः. ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः. ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः. ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः. ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः. ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः. ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः. ॐ तीव्राय नमः. ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः. ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः. ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः. ॐ तपोमयाय नमः. ॐ उदासीनाय नमः. ॐ महायोगिने नमः. ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः. ॐ कुशाग्रधिये नमः. ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः. ॐ सुसन्द्रशे नमः. ॐ सवित्रे नमः. ॐ स्थिराय नमः. ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः. ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः. ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः. ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः. ॐ चूडिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः. ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः. ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः. ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः. ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः. ॐ विराजदचलाकृतये नमः. ॐ उद्दिक्तनयनाय नमः. ॐ पूर्णाय नमः. ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः. ॐ गम्भीराय नमः. ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः. ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः. ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः. ॐ दक्षिणास्यनिभाय नमः. ॐ धीराय नमः. ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः. ॐ स्वराजे नमः. ॐ महर्षये नमः. ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः।
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलहृद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्छान्तकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात् बन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनामपूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः हृन्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीवहित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शि नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತಿಹೆ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡು ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೋಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರಣ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय.
ನಮೋ ರಮಣ ಅಕ್ಕ.